Tomorrow there are a ton of companies reporting their earnings. A few notable ones would be Lowe's, Best Buy, HP, Autodesk, and Nvidia. Now, Nvidia is one that we're going to cover on the live stream. That's mainly going to be the entire live stream. But today's video, I wanted to take a look at the company Lowe's. It is a staple here in my portfolio, and it is a nice dividend king and a duopoly with that of Home Depot, at least here in the United States. So let's take a look at this company, guys, and see if maybe it's a good buy right now. Even though markets have just been skyrocketing recently, we might find some good offers in other sectors, not necessarily the tech sector. So with that said, make sure to like, subscribe, comment. It really does help here with the algorithm on YouTube and of course on Rumble as well. So with that said, let's get started with this analysis. So let's start off with what in the world is this company. For those of you who may not know or just are not in the United States, they are a home improvement store. They do a bunch of stuff, guys, right? They sell appliances, tools, holiday decorations, bathroom stuff, lighting and ceiling fan. They are just an overall home improvement store. And if we take a look at their previous earnings, we can see that on August 22nd, they did $4.56 on each GAAP and non-GAAP, beating by 8 cents. Revenue of $25 billion, missing by almost $21 million. And right now, they're projecting $303 non-GAAP, $302 GAAP, and $20.86 billion in revenue, with 26 total revisions in the last 90 days, 21 of them to the downside, 5 of them to the upside. So now let us jump into the calculator. We got the ticker for LOW, market cap of $118 billion, a P of 20.11. So it's essentially there when it comes to the price, and the current share price, it is $204.44. Looking at this on the 1 year, we can see that this is down 2.77%, and year to date, it is up 2.71%. 52-week range, it is $181.85 to $237.21. As of today, though, you guys can see that Lowe's did rally at around 0.36 intraday and 0.32 post-market. Looking back over here, we can see that they do pay out a dividend of $4.40, which is a yield of 2.16%, payout ratio of 30.84%, 5-year CAGR of 19.29, which is massive, with 60 consecutive years. This is very rare. Usually, when a company is a dividend king like these guys, their 5-year CAGR is in like the single digits. The fact that it's double digits and upwards close to that of 20% is absolutely massive. Ex-dividend date is actually next year as of January 23rd, 2024. Payout date will be in February 7th, a day after my birthday, 2024, and they pay their dividends quarterly. Based off the current shares outstanding and this $4.40, they pay out $2.56 billion in dividends every single year. After this is paid out, though, in regards to the 5-year average free cash flow, they're left with $3.86 billion, and as of the last year's free cash flow, it is $4.2 billion. These payout ratios are 38% and 40% for the last year's free cash flow and 5-year free cash flow, respectively. Taking a look at the graphs, guys, starting with the net income, 5 years ago of $2.3 billion to 1 year ago of $6.44 billion. That is an increase of 178%. A lot of you would look at this and you're like, oh man, that's a massive drop as of 1 year ago. However, understand one thing. They are essentially a year ahead. So 2020 for them was 4 years ago. So I look at this and I see the fact that 3 years ago and 2 years ago, we had a massive pump in the economy with the money printing. And then as of 1 year ago, essentially for them, 2023 in the fiscal year, they came down. Well, it's because of the higher interest rates, right? Interest rates did start at the end of 2022 or roughly at the end of 2022. And now we're seeing the effects of it. So all I see is, well, them coming back down to the median. So I'm going to give this an 80%. The free cash flow actually shows this a whole lot better. 5 years ago of $5 billion to 1 year ago of $6.76 billion, increase of 35% with an average of $6.421 billion. This drop 4 years ago was COVID related. Then they had a massive spike and then they came back down. However, you can see that as of 1 year ago, we're still higher than that the 5 year ago. And again, it could just be the fact that with the higher interest rates, it's getting a little bit rougher. So I'm going to give this guys a 60%. The revenue is looking really solid, very consistently increasing, even that during COVID. 5 years ago of $71.31 billion to 1 year ago of $97.1 billion. That is an increase of 36.11%. All aside from COVID, this is hitting the line almost every single time. Well, that and as of 1 year ago, they barely missed it. So that's why I'm going to give it, guys, a 95%. Now, the assets minus the liabilities could be better. However, I do remember that when it came to Home Depot, we saw something similar. In fact, here is a screenshot of when we just did Home Depot just a few weeks ago, right? I believe it was last week when we did Home Depot during the live stream. So here's a screenshot as to what their assets minus liabilities look like. It's a lot better than that of Lowe's, don't get me wrong, but you still see that there are some negatives here. However, when it comes to Lowe's, as of 1 year ago and as of today, they're massively in the red, right? Which results in the average total assets of $43.8 billion, liabilities of $49.89 billion, which is a difference of negative $6.1 billion. I'm gonna give this guys a 10%. And of course, this does translate to the cash flow minus the liabilities. You can see consistently decreasing all around. And as of 1 year ago, it is negative $51.2 billion, which is significantly lower than that of the average of negative $37.8 billion. This is a 0%. What is amazing though is this shares outstanding. As you can see, 5 years ago of 801 million shares to today of 582 million shares. That is a massive drop of 27.34%. And previous year to the current year, it is 3.16. So pretty much, I mean, they've been doing this very consistent buyback. I mean, every single line hits that trend line pretty much almost exactly, right? Well, except for as of 1 year ago. But aside from that, guys, it's looking really, really great. Even during COVID, they bought. So will this continue? If they do, we won't have any shares left to buy. So I think that they're going to slow this down, maybe even increase it, issue shares, especially if the market continues to go up. But as of right now, this is a solid 100%. And lastly, when it comes into the cash equivalents, they currently hold $3.5 billion with an average of almost $2 billion. Looking at the overall grade, we gave the net income an 80%, free cash flow 60, revenue 95, assets minus liabilities 10, cash flow minus liabilities 0, and shares outstanding 100% for an overall grade of 66. It is just there. The biggest problem here, it is definitely the assets minus the liabilities, which we did see that with Home Depot, they do have similar kind of aspects, so it may just be an industry-wide phenomena. So now jumping into the calculator, we can see that this is $106.02, not adjusting for debt, and then $48.80 adjusting for debt. So yeah, it's looking a little bit expensive with a current share price of $204.44. Now let's input the predicted share buyback first. Now they've been doing what, 27% the past 5 years, which is massive. And you can see that they've been very consistently when it comes to that. I don't think that they're going to do that. Let's go with 8% for the lowest, 11 for the median, and then let's say 14% for the highest assumption. Now, regarding the revenue, the problem with this is, according to Seeking Alpha, this thing is expected to do a negative 2.84%, which is a little bit of an issue. So let's actually entertain that a little bit. Let's go with -2, then let's go with 0, and then let's say 2%. I think that that's fair. Doing this, we got $107 to $331.40, and then adjusting for debt, $44.89 to $65.35. Margin of safety of 5, 10, and 15, $38.16 to $62.09. It's looking expensive, guys, as it currently stands. Even though, you know, I look at this and I'm just like, this is it's a duopoly without Home Depot. Still, I mean, it has great fundamentals. My issue with this is mainly valuation. Now, my personal average share price, it is around $186 or so, right? So this is one that you do have to play around with the numbers because, well, if you think that they're going to continue to be doing good, because if you think that they're going to do good in the future in the next 5 years, then you might input some of these numbers a lot higher. And, well, let's just face it, they were at around $180 or so just a few weeks ago, right? In fact, let's just say that you believe that they'll do around, like, let's say 10% in revenue in the next 5 years, then you got 172. So there you have it, right? Now you have a better excuse to buy it around $185 or so. Nonetheless, though, this is just my personal opinion when it comes to these numbers. Every investment is the present value of all future cash flow, and every calculator that you guys see in these videos are available for free. Link is in the description below. All we're asking for in return, guys, is just like, subscribe, comment. Really does help here on YouTube as well as Rumble. We're just trying to grow this company, and hopefully one day we can actually have like a podcast style kind of thing, right? Like on a daily podcast. I would also like to shout out my other channel, which is The Fatal Place, where I make music content. So if you guys want to check that out, I just uploaded one of the Hunger Games. So again, if you guys want to check that out, the link is in the description as well. And when taking a look at these dividends at the current share price, guys, putting in $5,725, this nets you $123.22. And on top of that, they do have a massive CAGR, and by the looks of it, they can afford this dividend in accordance to their free cash flow. So yeah, I mean, this is a company that if they continue to increase that dividend at that rate, you are getting a whopping, 20% increase pretty much in the next 5 years, assuming that they continue it at the same rate. So all in all, Lowe's is a company, guys, that I like. It's a company that I own. It's a company that I bought around $186 or so. I haven't bought any more because, well, I've been kind of focusing on other companies. But aside from that, it's a company that I really do like. And let's just face it, a duopoly without Home Depot, they do take a hit when we get through a lot of problems, right? When inflation hits rampant, because, well, people would prioritize food than, fixing an appliance or something, right? Or renovating their kitchen or something like that. So obviously they're going to get a hit. All in all, though, I don't think they're going to go away anytime soon. But that's just my personal opinion. Anyways, once again, make sure to like, subscribe, comment. Really does help here with the algorithm on YouTube as well as Rumble. So with that said, peace out, and we'll see you all next time.